What is your biggest vision? What could happen?
My biggest wish?
Vision.
Oh, vision.
With Integral Institute, your
Right.
work. So, what is the best that could happen in
Yeah.
the future?
Okay.
When you would say, okay,
Yeah.
my work has been done.
Right. Does this include Miss February? Integral's integral. Yeah. Covered in chocolate. Yeah, I got it. Because everybody has these sort of wonderful dimensions and sub-personalities, and there are parts of me that are very, very confident of what I do, and parts of me that anybody else is very insecure. And all of that can still arise in ever-present big mind. That's sort of the whole point about all of these things. So I've always been in an ambivalent situation about, I'm just not a self-promoting person, even though I can be extremely confident about the theoretical stuff I've done, because I think I've done more homework than most people doing it. And somebody once said, a business person listening to me talk, and they said, you're very arrogant and self-effacing. And they couldn't figure out how I was kind of both, So I was very confident of the ideas, but I just don't want, I don't seek the limelight. So it's a balancing act that I have to do. And one of the reasons that I have turned down, PBS specials and Bill Moyers and all that stuff is I don't want the person right now doing that. I think the ideas are really what's important. At the same time, in the real world, people are what gets focused on. So I've been willing to go out with Integral naked, and we're doing this, and that's fine, I'm okay with that, but it's a little ambivalent for me. What I'd like to see are these ideas out there, because these ideas make more room for more types of truth than any other system I know. And one of the reasons I felt comfortable with people saying, I love Aquil, we want to use Aquil this, Aquil that, is Aquil is a doorway to Plotinus and St. Teresa and Gautama Buddha and Hegel and Schelling. All of it is part of that. So it's not like it's deconstruction, that Derrida dreamt up in a really bad acid trip or something, and forced people to memorize. It's actually components that human beings have. And the framework really is standing on the shoulders of 10,000 giants. And so I feel very comfortable about that. And if the whole United Nations woke up tomorrow and said, we're going to do an Aquil thing, I'd go, way to go. And they say, we want you to be president. And I'd go, get real. I don't get out much, and it takes more than 4 mitochondria to deal with Saddam Hussein on any given day. So I'm always trying to find ways that I can push the framework, but not me. And that's, it's a kind of awkward thing. My vision, which is also my wish, is that the framework itself becomes widespread, only because, and for this reason, if what any of the developmentalists are saying is true, and I believe the cumulative evidence is simply overwhelming, is that what we're calling second tier, or centaur, or integrative, or in higher second and third tier, it's not an idea. It's an actual territory that is evolving at the frothy edge. It's territory that's getting laid down. It's a real new land that is actually there now. Now it is an independently existing ontological structure because it's getting laid down. It's getting sedimented as a cosmic memory. And so it's there now. And so there are people landing on this new continent in their own awareness. The 2 to 5%. Well, in this country alone, that's over 5 million people. And they have integral desires, but they don't know what to call them. They have integral visions. They have nobody to share them with. They have integral hunger and nobody that they can go to dinner with and have a feast of integral. And so this is just a map of the new world. It's not the new world. I did not invent the new world. It's just I've got one of the early maps. And those early maps, I always use this analogy, but y'all remember when Columbus and everything hit this country, and they do those maps. In Florida, it's like the size of Greenland, and it stretches all the way down, and it's just all distorted. But they were like the only maps of the new world, other than, of course, people that were living here. But if you want the map concession in Portugal, because it's like going that way, I got the map. So we have an integral map now, and all we want is for people that are already at that territory to have a map of their own potentials, because they already have them. And as you know, it's in therapy, part of what you do is you help people name what they're feeling. And so that's what this integral vision lets people do, is people that are already at these integral new territories have a map that they can find their way around better. They can express what they already know, but they can use it and they can be much more effective at the territory that they're already at. And then they can say, wait a minute, I got a much better map. Greenland isn't where New Mexico is, Ken. And I tell you that, that's fine. But that's where we are right now with these maps of this new territory. And so the vision would be that people that are already there would be able to have that. And then that is what makes it kosher. That's what makes it legitimate. We have to go right down the mainstream. We have to be able to get it in mainstream universities, in mainstream business, in mainstream education, and of course in Hollywood, where it all really counts. But we've made wonderful inroads with all of that. So hopefully that will continue.